I should really not be this nervous, but welcome to the first episode of the GoHerping podcast. This is an idea I had, I don't know, like a year ago. See, this is already hard because I know that I'm not really going to edit it afterwards. Should I start over? I don't know. Are you listening to what I'm saying right now? I think I'll leave it in. We'll see. Oh, see, okay. Oh my gosh, this is weird. I'm so used to having so many jump cuts that I'm just leaving pauses between everything I'm saying, but that's not how a podcast works. Let's see if I can get on track here. Luckily, the people listening are probably just going to be more, quote, dedicated viewers, I guess, because most people aren't just going to click on some random podcast, I think. See, I just paused again. I'm like, all right, I'll jump cut right there. That's what 5 years of jump cuts gives you. So the goal for this is to talk for like 20 to 60 minutes about interesting stuff. I guess that's every podcast. But I've never done this before. I had something called Herpcasts like a year ago. I made multiple episodes. Actually, I didn't like any of them, so I never did anything with them. But this is my attempt at a true podcast. It's becoming very popular with different sort of just audio stuff because people are really busy, and it's a great way to consume content that you either enjoy or learn from while doing something else. Oh my god, I keep pausing. It's so weird. Now the thing is, people do edit podcasts, like you edit out really long cuts or whatever, or just unnecessary info. But overall, I feel like it is very raw, which can be a good thing, because it's a good time to talk about stuff that I'd usually like not really get a place to put anywhere. So if you're here for like a very reptile-y podcast, you might be kind of disappointed. I don't know. Maybe you will enjoy it, because maybe that is what I'll do. But I don't know if I'm actually going to focus on reptiles very much in this. The other thing is, I don't know if I should have other people or not. It's probably better if I don't, or maybe just have it be an occasional thing. Like maybe if I do this, say, once every 4 times or someone else. We'll see though, because personally I like to listen to podcasts with other people, more than one person I mean, but I'm just not good at talking to people. If you don't know, I am very introverted. If you've ever talked to me in person or met me, you would be like, wow, he is very introverted indeed. But okay, how long has it been? It's been 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And there's been no specific topic. So let's get on track a little bit. So I was, like a half hour ago, I was just cleaning up some reptile stuff, because that's all I do all day, even though I do enjoy it. And I was thinking about some like future projects I want to work on. And then I realized it's already December. It's nope, it's not December 1st. It's December 2nd at 2:30 a.m. Whoops, I need to stop pointing out the fact that I'm pausing. Well, anyway, I was like, each month I kind of like starting something new that I can be like, this month I worked on this new idea. It's kind of a good like time to, what's it called, wipe the plate, start fresh, wipe the plate. A clean slate, that's what I meant. But a podcast is something I've wanted to do for a while, so I was like, oh yeah, I should do that tomorrow. But then I realized if I say I'll do it tomorrow, I'm just going to say that every day. So I figured I'm really tired right now, but I should go ahead and do it and see what happens. So if you are listening to this, then you know more about this than I do, because I have no plans. I was thinking maybe I should talk about just having a YouTube channel. I don't know. I'll see where it goes. So I think I'm taking a lot of inspiration for actually just talking into a mic for an hour, because I do listen to maybe 5 or 6 different podcasts. I don't know if you've heard of any of them, like the Boys Only Club podcast. That might be my favorite. Also things like the H3 podcast, even the Jenny Mustard podcast. Who else? The Report of the Week, or Review Bra. You can't not like him. But there's a lot of different people. A big assortment that I like to listen to. So the pressure's on because it's like I'm looking up to these amazing channels that talk about like super interesting stuff. And then there's me. So I don't know, maybe you should go listen to those people instead. But I guess that can kind of tie us into the first thing, that being having a large but small audience on YouTube. Because, like, how do I say it? Because I'm like super overly grateful, and then when I look back and realize just how many people are subscribed, it's really overwhelming, because as of recording this, it's about 36,000, maybe about 36,000. But at the same time, that's very small compared to a lot of people. But I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm a really tiny channel, even though in a lot of people's eyes I am, because then that makes me sound ungrateful of you. But I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm a big channel, because then that makes me just sound like I have a huge ego, which maybe I do, I don't know. So it's, I don't know which category I fall in. Maybe it's like, I guess you could say I'm big for a hobbyist and small for a, quote, professional YouTube person. I don't want to use the word YouTuber. I'm not worthy of the word YouTuber. People call me a YouTuber already, and I'm like, no, I'm not. That doesn't count yet. I'm still just a person uploading to YouTube, because I'm very addicted to this platform. I don't know where I would be putting all of this time without it. But like I said before, I'm such a big introvert about everything. Like, you know that personality test? If you've ever taken it, it's like 16 personalities or something. Companies even use them to hire you sometimes, which that's controversial because it doesn't necessarily reflect you well. But I take it about every 6 months. So I think I took it the 5th time a couple weeks ago, and I've never had my extrovert percentage over 3%. So every single time I've taken it, I've been between, or 4%, I think. So every time I've taken it, I've been between 96% and 99% introverted, which is kind of high. But I think a lot of people, when they see someone that uploads any kind of content online that features themselves, they're like, at least I always assume they were very outgoing people. But then I realized I literally talk to a block of metal all day. And I'm the only one that sees the stuff until I approve of it. So it's like, it keeps you very comfortable, because I think introverts, like everyone else, will have a lot of ideas or stuff to talk about, but it's like horrifying to get that across to people, especially in person. And it's still horrifying. Like, every time I hit upload, I've uploaded over 250 videos, which really that's nothing compared to a ton of people. But still, I break into a sweat every single time it's uploading. It's like the anxiety of making a video is just terrifying, waiting for it to go up. And it's not even because of any feedback necessarily. It's just knowing that once it's there, and like people are going to consume it. So it's weird. Where can I go from there? What else is it going to talk about? Now the real question is, am I going to delete this part? Are you hearing what I'm saying right now? Or did I cut to where I had another thing to tie into this, because I don't have an outline? So let's see, what else was it? So I've been uploading for 5 years. Oh, oh my God. It's so weird doing new things, putting them online. Like, I don't even expect that many people to see this podcast if I even upload it. But my anxiety just went up so much. It's really weird. It's kind of like I started a second channel. I privated those videos for now just because they weren't like bad, but I have some new ideas to kind of replace that. But I guess I got kind of used to it after 5 years, because I've been uploading for 5 years. And like I said, I still get super nervous every single time. This is super weird. I haven't gotten this. Why? Maybe I'm just tired. Probably so. Okay, so what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying now. So it's really weird because I guess I've just gotten actually very comfortable on my channel. People are always asking how to start one and like how to get comfortable, but I guess you just have to keep doing it. But the weird thing is, in order to keep doing it, you have to put it in front of people. I think I was kind of so arrogant to creating content and really what it meant to put something online when I started, because I was barely 12 years old. Like, I started the channel a month before I turned 12, so I was just like, oh yeah, put whatever I want up online, doesn't matter. Because even now, I'm pretty sure I'm editing this a bit, but my anxiety has gone up so much in the past 10 minutes just because I'm so not comfortable doing this. So it's super weird. And yeah. But then the other thing about it is, okay, so I don't think I ever actually finished what I was saying before, but I get nervous when uploading videos, not because of the feedback. It's like there's always going to be mixed feedback no matter what it is, and that's like with anything. So I really genuinely have gotten used to that. But I think, no, I did already say this, like how basically once it's there, and it's somewhat irreversible. No, I'm just repeating myself now. But yeah, just trying to upload the content, I think it's a lot like me just sitting down and recording the audio. Like, you just have to do it, I guess. I'm kind of like thinking with you right now, if you're thinking about this, like what you really have to do to start a channel. Because there's so many people, like I'm not directing this towards one person just because there's so many that I have talked to and that I just see where they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to start my channel. And they say that like every day for 2 months because I'm the exact same way with a lot of new ideas. So think with me here. How do we comfortably make stuff online, especially about animals? You have to keep in mind that I'm in a community that's all about animal husbandry. So that's like, it's an extra level of pressure. So if you're interested in making videos on reptiles, it's definitely, you should like by all means do it. But the thing is, your opinion isn't always valid. Does that make sense? That sounds bad. So like, let's take another community that I'm in, like let's take Overwatch. I know a lot of you don't don't like that game, but if I am trying to argue that D.Va is the best main, which if you don't even know what I'm talking about, but if I like try and argue that one character is better than another and you disagree, in reality it doesn't matter. We can just have our opinions and let it be that. And we can like argue as much as we want, whether it's for fun or whether it's being serious. But once you start making content on animals, your opinion's not the only thing that, like, your opinion does actually matter and does actually affect something. Holy shit. There's so much anxiety right now. It's so weird. I feel like I'm not going to upload this. I don't know. Okay. So uploading content on your own animals means that even if someone thinks your opinion is invalid, it's not necessarily something you can just ignore, because then it's possible that someone is putting their animal at risk, I guess you could say. Like, let's see, what's an example? I'll take one that's like common with lots of opinions so that we like don't kill each other. Okay, here's one. This one's just like kind of ridiculous. Very ridiculous, that's the point. One person's trying to make the argument that ball pythons should be fed strictly rodents, while another person is saying that it should be fed strictly fish. If you know anything about ball pythons, I think a fish might kill them, I don't know. But basically, we can hopefully agree that rodents are ideal for ball pythons. However, if I'm one of the people that say, like, no, actually, fish is ideal, other people shouldn't necessarily just be like, okay, that's your opinion, I'm going to move on, because that person's actual living animal is being affected by it. So when you're uploading stuff on your own animals, you cannot disregard any opinions, in my opinion. In my opinion, you cannot disregard any opinions, because there's a difference between an opinion or criticism and something that's just like hate or trying to bring you down, which I'm very thankful to have very little of that. Honestly, have I gotten any recently? It's like I'm lucky to have an audience that is willing to voice their own opinions and always criticize my care, which I really appreciate, because that's how I've improved over the past number of years. But somehow you manage to do it without being like blatantly disrespectful, which I think is very different compared to a lot of channels. Like, okay, why not? Let's do it. Let's take Brian Barczyk, for example. Brian, as you may know, is a bit of a controversial keeper on both sides. There's lots of people that really love him, lots that really hate him, lots that like him, lots that are neutral, lots that dislike him. So Brian really does, I think he does actually get a lot of unnecessary and blatant hate, which I don't condone at all, because it's really not productive, and it's just, I'm sure that affects him, because he is, in fact, a living person, believe it or not. But at the same time, there are people that just really do want to constructively criticize something that he's doing because they disagree with that. So that is definitely the number one weird thing that I don't think I've ever mentioned about actually having a channel revolving around this. So if you're just thinking of starting a channel like about, I don't know, gaming or photos or literally anything that doesn't involve like the care of an animal or human, it's definitely different, and something that I really didn't realize, because you're almost forced to be entirely transparent too. Like, you pretty much know every single issue that I've gone through, because it's obvious when you don't want to show something. So you have to make sure that you are willing. So you do have to make sure you are truly willing to put pretty much everything you do to care for your animal out there. And then obviously you're going to make mistakes at some point, and you just have to like deal with those and make it obvious and try and clear yourself up so you don't actually accidentally influence other people into doing that, because that's not ideal. What else? Okay, so that's a lot of negativity, I guess you could say, but it is stuff that I do think about, because on the flip side, I have gotten to improve a ton, and obviously, like, if I wasn't enjoying the show, wasn't getting something out of it, there would be no reason for me to upload content, because the money that's made off of it is not worthy of the time and effort and, I guess, motivation you need to continue doing it, which there are, like, I mean, I'm not going to, like, turn monetization off, because I do appreciate the revenue flow, but there's that. Also, I think the weird thing about talking is I'm kind of coming up with my own questions, so it feels weird answering them, because I don't know if anyone actually cares about the answers. I guess I'm like answering to myself, because this is kind of stuff that I've never talked to people about. Like, I definitely have people to talk to about it if I wanted to, but there's never really a reason to. This is kind of like my just thinking out loud to myself at 3 a.m. about uploading animal videos. Also, I'm losing my voice because I don't have any water. So back to what I was talking about earlier with having an audience, because that was kind of what I originally meant the focus for this to be, is it's so weird, because if you didn't know, in my first year of YouTube, I hit an astounding 9 subscribers. I think I lost no, I don't know if I lost any. I started with 0 in February 2012. February 2013, I had 9. February 2014, I had about 20. February 2015, I think it was about 100. And then it started going up. 2016 was 400. I think, right? 400, which was a ridiculously high amount of subscribers. And then by the end of 2016, it was maybe 6,000. And now we're nearing the end of 2017 at almost 40,000. So you could definitely argue that 40,000 is still a very small channel. But compared to 400 2 years ago, that's literally 1,000 times bigger, which is kind of ridiculous, especially like I said, since I'm so like bad at communication, aka being, and well, at least for me, my experience in being introverted is not being very good at it. However, I would say I think I'm good over text the best. Like anyone on Discord, I'm kind of ridiculous and weird when it comes to that. So maybe it is the same. I don't know. But going off of that, on the flip side of all the not negative stuff, just things that aren't necessarily positive, more neutral stuff, I guess you could say, is the fact that people seem to really genuinely enjoy it, which I'm not used to. That doesn't sound very good. But like when you start out, you definitely need this. But chances are it's going to be your friends and family commenting, like, hey, cool video. Secretly, they don't necessarily care about it very much. And there's a good chance that they didn't even enjoy it. It's very easily possible they are. And you're probably already way better than my first 4 years of video, even if you haven't made a video yet. But the fact that it actually changes to people that message you and email you with such positive stuff, you're all so nice. It's ridiculous how I literally have trouble responding to the amount of positivity to the channel, which is like super flattering to think about, because it's never something I expected. When I started the channel, I specifically remember I designed it based on BBC Earth, and I wanted to be able to create the next National Geographic, which I'm pretty sure is physically impossible. That was like my goal for maybe 30 years back then. And I couldn't even imagine having 100 subscribers. That's a lot of people. Like, I don't know, go back to your lower school class and the or elementary school class and that presentation that you had to do in front of your class of like 20 to 100 people. That's terrifying. So it's the exact same for me when it comes to a channel. So I Google like stadiums that hold 30,000 people, and that's just terrifying in the best way possible, because at the same time it really is amazing. So I'd really say the nice things that you say to just like inflate my ego more than it needs to be inflated, I feel like that's really motivating. So I'm trying to figure out what was motivating me when I started. I guess it was just knowing that there were bigger channels. Like a huge channel that I looked up to was Herping with Dylan when I first started. And by huge, I mean he had like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, which like that's so many people. It seemed so far away and so impossible. So just surpassing that was like, so I guess that was really my original motivation, because I'm not going to pretend like I don't care about the number of subscribers. Like, it's not the most important thing, but being able to hit those milestones really does make a difference. Like, if I never knew how many subs I had or how many views I got, I wonder if I would have the same motivation, because I'm not sure. Like, seeing that subscriber number jump up one person per month was really cool, because that's like a real person, or assuming that's a real person, that's like hopping aboard to your channel and being like, yeah, I'd like to maybe see some more from them. And now at this point, it's like pressure, but a good pressure to keep that up and keep improving, because people care about it. It's not like overwhelming pressure that I'm like, oh no, I have to get all this stuff done, I hate doing it, because luckily I still have not lost interest. In fact, my interest is like multiplied by 10 because it's something that I'm working on like at a certain extent, like every hour of the day, there's not a point in time that it's not in the back of my mind of the stuff that I want to complete. Where am I even going with this statement? I don't know. Are you even still listening? Why are you still listening? I think I would have X'd out by now. We just passed, I've been recording for 31 minutes, and I'm not sure how much I've actually cut out. I'm trying to think if there are any, basically, this is not a good way to wrap it up. I need something to like wrap it up for a few minutes. So basically we started out talking about having a channel and having an audience. Well, a whole nother aspect is people knowing who you are in person. That's definite. I keep saying, how many times have I said the word weird? Has anyone been keeping track? But by far the weirdest thing is the fact that people on the internet also exist. And being stopped is like again, I compared to the millions and billions of combined subscribers people have, the fact that at Repticon 15 different people know me, but I don't know them, that's like a whole nother level of just kind of mind-blowing how the internet works. Because, well, what's even better is how many people know all of my reptiles and how many people know them by name. Like, I go to festivals, if you don't know, and even people there have only been a few people that recognize me at festivals, like maybe between 5 and 10, but they're like, oh, hey, there's Gobi, and there's Franklin. It's like you actually know what's going on, and it's something I still can't get used to. So it's 2:57 a.m. now. I've been talking about just random stuff for a half an hour, and luckily I'm more calm now, more contained. It took me maybe a solid 20 minutes to get more comfortable with this. I'm still surprised at how my anxiety went up before. To any of you that have anxiety, you might know the feeling. For me, since it is more like talking to people, I had that same feeling, but I'm talking into a microphone. Am I just predicting the fact that people are going to hear this? Which, I guess really the main thing this quote podcast, if that's what it counts as, is about is how, well, I guess that's kind of summarizes this first topic well, is still not being comfortable with creating stuff and putting it publicly for people to see. But at the same time, I would have never improved at all had I not done it at first. So, honestly, if I was trying to start a channel now, I'm trying to think if I'd be able to do it. I'm not sure. I would definitely want to try, and hopefully if I hadn't already started a channel, hopefully I would try today. Because I'm really missing out, because I've really enjoyed making this stuff for this long. Like, it's evolved a ton, obviously. It's not even as long as a lot of people. Like, the Vlog Brothers I've been watching a lot recently, and they've been uploading twice as long as I have. And then look at arguably the greatest YouTuber on the platform, not just because he's the biggest, but because I've always found him both the most entertaining and real person, Felix or PewDiePie. We've been uploading for the same duration of time. Now, he's uploaded like 2,000 videos, I've uploaded 200 something, but YouTube keeps changing so much, and I think that's a good thing most of the time, because with that, everything else changes. Like, speaking of Felix, me included would be one of those cringy 12-year-olds that are part of his audience. Like, we're big boys and girls now, like probably still not that old, but getting there. So what am I talking about now? I guess I'm talking about evolution of internet platforms and people. I'm just getting tired. I think it's time to end it here. Honestly, I feel like there's like a 51% chance I'm deleting this. But if you did happen to hear it, then wow, why'd I upload this? That's really embarrassing. I don't know. I'll probably upload it and private it and look back on it later for when I want to actually do a podcast. So in that case, thank you, me, for listening to this, if I even listened. It is December 2nd, 2017, 3:01 a.m., finishing off my almost first ever attempt at a podcast. Hopefully I enjoyed, because I guess I'm the only one that heard it. Whew. Now I'm really tired. Anxiety is weird. I feel like I'm going to pass out.